Would y'all sit right there? Is this a spot y'all get comfortable? I mean, imagine your back to the water.
I mean, if it's shallow, yeah.
Shallow, I just don't know. Overall, it's just a whole bunch of water. Look at it. Look at that. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Yes, yes.
Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 100K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
In this video, I'm going to explain to you guys a few things that no one told me about Honduras, which is not surprising because most people probably don't know much about this country, nor do they have any plans on visiting. So I'm sure some of these things I'm going to speak on may be somewhat new to you all as well. Let's be honest, the first thing that comes to mind when people hear about this country is crime. Crime, and more crime, danger. I believe at one point in time, Honduras, or maybe a city in Honduras, was like the murder capital of the world. So I can understand why many people haven't ventured to this place. But let me go ahead and share one disclaimer with you all. I spent most of my time along the coast and also in a city called Sanpedrosula, which is probably around 1 hour, 1.5 hour drive from the water, depending on where you're going. So in essence, I consider this city somewhat of a coastal city as well. Whenever I bring up Honduras in this video, just keep in mind I'm referring to this part of the country.
I know they got like the trees that's screaming pine trees and all.
The palm trees.
The palm trees, but it's also giving me the backyard of New Orleans.
You think?
Yeah, as I'm walking, because I walk the streets of New Orleans, like, and I've seen like these alleys, and you know what I'm saying, and they're not alleys, they're streets, but it just gives that vibe. Like,
I can see it.
You can see it. Okay, just keep watching.
The coastal water area. But without further ado, let's get into the first one. The first point is the friendliness of the people. Now, I know for some of you all watching that may not be much of a surprise. However, for me, I expected something different, and the reason being is because I've been to a country called Peru, where the people lean more on their Amerindian side. And while I was there, mainly in Lima, and I also visited Arequipa and Cusco, I found the people to be somewhat more socially conservative. Not as, they were nice, don't get me wrong, but not as like open as some of the other countries in South America or just Latin America in general. And so before going to Honduras, I pictured, okay, that country, they seem like they have a strong Amerindian influence, so maybe that social conservativeness will be the same. And yeah, maybe in certain aspects, but as far as like openness and friendliness and being super talkative with like strangers, that wasn't the case. I found people from Honduras very, very, again, the best word I can use is open. The next one on the list is going to be a little...
That's cool.
Okay, that's not bad.
We do know that there's more than one ethnic group in Honduras. Super excited to get into it because there's an ethnic group that involves my family.
Yeah.
So super excited about that. But let us know your thoughts on what he just said. Let us know the spots that is more open or sociable.
Yeah,
we would love to know that.
Prefer open than closed any day.
Right.
Ain't no way I want to be around a whole bunch of people who just don't want to, like, they're just closed.
Yeah.
They're just tight.
Just staring at you. Don't want to speak to you.
Just in the box.
Yeah.
So interesting. The point I'm trying to make is, while I was in Honduras, I definitely got some Mexico vibes. The people, they put spicy sauce and chili on their fruit, which is the first time I've seen this outside of Mexico. I also seen mariachi there while I was on the beach in Tela, which I've never seen outside of Mexico. And then also when I was walking around, you can see some of the Mexico flags in certain places. So, and just in general, walking around and mingling with the people, it brought back memories of my time while I was traveling throughout Mexico.
So this spot that he is in, is this like a Mexico community? Because again, we do see the flag. So, and we know, when you're in a country that, and you're in certain parts of the country, it has a heavy influence of the people who
100, yeah.
migrated there. So
Yeah.
let us know that.
Here in Honduras was bachata. I'm sure it has something to do with being close to the water, but in the city, people were listening to bachata in the clubs, in the bars, the lounges. I didn't know people in Honduras dance bachata because when I was in Panama, I heard a little bit of everything. I was in Panama City, so somewhat, Americanized. So it was a little bit of everything. And then when I was in Mexico, it was more banda and salsa. I didn't think many countries, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, countries in this region, I didn't think they, dance bachata a lot. I thought that was more, South America and the Caribbean thing. For this next point, I want you to remember what I spoke about earlier, which is I did not venture too much into like mainland Honduras. However, similar to many places that you go to, the vibe, the atmosphere can be different depending on which part of the country that you're in. The coastal side is very touristy. Many tourists, when they visit Honduras, even if they fly into a city, they head straight for the beaches, straight for the islands. And so the major cities of the country, the capital, Tegucigalpa, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Sanpedrosula, they're just not touristy. Another point was that on the islands, you can pay in USD, which I can say from personal experience is very common. While I was there, they quoted me in dollars first, and I asked them, hold on, how much is it in the local currency? Vice versa, I was told that if you're in the city and you try to pay in US dollars, you might receive some funny looks. Some people may not take it from what I was told. Ooh. And lastly, a major difference is the language. On the island, I believe the first language is English.
Would y'all sit right there? Is this a spot y'all get comfortable? I mean, imagine your back to the water.
I mean, if it's shallow, yeah.
Shallow, I just don't know. Overall, it's just a whole bunch of water. Look at that. Different.
Inside.
So I feel like the location he was talking about, the touristy spot, this is an open location where people are very open to talk and mingle and whatnot. The other locations he was talking about, they're not as open, they're more closed. Yeah. Again, what y'all guys think about that?
Yeah. Friendlier, I guess.
Then the second one is Garifuna, and then third is Spanish. Whereas on the mainland, it flips. It's Spanish. The second one, I'm guessing, will be whatever the native language is. And then third will be English, from what someone was telling me. So that's pretty interesting. And this kind of leads me into my next point, is that Honduras is a lot more, I guess you would say, ethnically diverse than what I had imagined. You had the ones that lean more on the Afro side, the ones that lean more on the Euro Mestizo side. Obviously, you had a ton that had a strong Amerindian influence. And then you had the ones that were mixed with like everything. I also saw a few Asians there. I'm assuming, if I had to guess, they were Chinese. And since we're on the topic of people, let me go ahead and throw this in for the fellas listening. Ladies, go ahead and take a break. Go to the bathroom, do what you need to do. Let me holler at the men out there for a quick second. I'm going to go ahead and say two things. First, Honduran. I keep saying Honduran. I think it's Honduran without the I. So Honduran women are one of the most underrated women in not just Central America, but in Latin America in general. And I can see why. If no one visits the country, no offense, not many people will know. And the second point is that Honduran women, and let me preface this by saying I have not been to every country in this region, but Honduran women are the most curvaceous in Central America. If you don't know what curvaceous means, the most voluptuous, the most junk in the trunk. Hands down, in my opinion. And some people may assume I'm referring to the Hondurans that lean more on the Afro side, which is to be expected when it comes to, that body type. Or you may be thinking I'm leaning.
I don't know how long he expected my wife to be in the bathroom. Because I'm saying, like, you gonna keep talking about it or what?
I mean, okay.
It's funny. To each your own. I feel like, you go to a location, you will see such another volume. I use the word volume of a woman, you know what I'm saying? Because I know, like in the South, our woman, a cornbread fed, like how they eat is different. How they eat out there in Honduras is different. How they eat all the way up north, where we from, is different. So the body's shape and structure always come with a style of how you live in your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So to each your own, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
More on the Euro Mestizo side. I'm referring to both of those, but also what caught me off guard were the women who lean more on the Amerindian side. Now, I have two theories as to why this might be. One, the Mayan women back in the day, they must have been working with something. Or two, maybe because when I was walking around the the San Pedro, there was a ton of fast food places. And they had Popeyes, KFC, Pizza
What I
Hut,
tell you?
Dunkin' Donuts.
What I
They
tell
had
y'all?
Bojangles out there. They had churches. They just had a ton of fast food establishments. Also, eating at a local spot, they're very big on rice and meat. If you're a vegetarian, a vegan, it's gonna be kind of tough in Honduras. But
Okay.
So, Honduras, y'all eat a lot. I feel like that's basically what I just said. You know what I'm saying? When he's speaking about the woman.
Cornbread fed.
Yeah, the cornbread. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fish and meat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are my two theories. Last but not least, a thing that no one told me about Honduras, or before coming to Honduras, was about their addresses. It's very different from what I'm used to.
All
Here in
right.
Honduras, they don't really do that.
Hey, I'm waiting for y'all in the comment section for this one. I really want to see where y'all head at. Now y'all gonna be on.
He had a good view, huh?
Yeah, he kept it on there. Again, I don't know how long he think woman's supposed to be in the bathroom
Right. So I'm guessing we'll have a men's segment in a little bit, right?
for. You crazy.
Neighbor plus street, at least from my experiences, they give you two streets. They'll say I live on this street with this street. I live on Martin Luther King with Columbus Boulevard. And it was so weird and so frustrating. Because if you're somewhere where there's no Uber or there's no popular landmark, right? It's not like the Marriott or the Hilton. Having to give directions to the driver can be difficult. So when I would get dropped off, I would contact the host, and I was usually always 1 or 2 blocks away. And that may not sound like much, but when you have, all your stuff with you, your bags, your passport, your money, and you're just, on a random street, that 1 to 2 minute walk to your apartment feels like forever. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I typed in on Google hospitals in Honduras. And so the address pattern that I'm used to is right here. Not the first part, in Frente de Bayside, but where it says 936, 9360, and then the name of the hospital, then Main Street. So 9360 Main Street, bam, I know where to go. But most of the addresses, from my experience, weren't like that. They were more like this. 3RW5 plus 6VM. I'm assuming the first part is a street, and then plus another street that I was talking about earlier. They'll say, hey, I'm on this boulevard plus this boulevard. So I'm assuming that's the same pattern. Maybe, maybe not. But here's another one. QM, Q4, I'm guessing that's one street or one area, plus 638. So that's just one thing I want to point out to you. Most people, again, probably don't experience this because as soon as they touch down, they head straight for the beaches, straight to the islands. But if you plan to spend a few days in maybe some of the major cities and you're not living in a popular hotel or establishment, just remember about these addresses. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. These are just a few things that no one told me about visiting Honduras.
All right.
Those are some nice things.
Not bad. I didn't look into Honduras to know that there's top crime capital at one point.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, everybody looks very lively. They're outside, they're chilling, minding their business, very communicative wise. So I don't see much of a problem. They look like they're having fun.
Yeah, it seems like he was in a good area.
Yeah.
I have heard of the violence towards women, but other than that, I really don't know much, and it's crazy. I've researched so much stuff about everything else, but when it comes
I
to
want to go research more.
Honduras, I haven't.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's more of like a family history type thing that I want to, dwell into with the family. So, yeah. So let us know more about the culture. Thank you guys so much for sending this video in.
Facts.
Let us know about the culture, the people, what we should cover about Honduras. Super excited to dig into this with you guys. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request list is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.